Have you ever wondered if there was a user manual for reality? I mean, a book that didn't just have words but contained the actual source code of creation itself, given to the very first human? Well, according to the ancient mystical text, the Zohar, a book like that really existed. And today, we're going to unlock its story. The story of this primordial wisdom, how it was given, how it was lost, and how it was eventually rebooted for all of us. So here's our roadmap. First, we're heading back to the Garden of Eden to see the book's origin as pure, radiant light. Then we'll dive into how humanity lost its root access during what's called the Great Hiding. After that, we meet Shinnok, the hero who rebooted the whole system. From there, we'll actually decode the cosmic operating system that makes all of this work. And finally, and this is the best part, we're going to figure out what this ancient, powerful knowledge means for you right here, right now. All right, so picture this. We are in Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. And I don't want you to think of just a garden with trees and flowers. This is a reality of pure spiritual energy. And right at the center of it all is Adam, the first man, but again, not like us, not flesh and bone. He's a being of pure light, a perfect conductor for divine consciousness. And into this absolutely perfect state, an unimaginable gift is about to arrive. The Zohar paints this incredible scene. A book is sent down, and it's delivered by the angel Raziel. And get this, his name literally means secrets of God. Now look at the words here. This was not a book made of paper and ink. It had supernal engravings. You got to think less of a physical object and more like a celestial hard drive, a vessel of pure knowledge that was humming with the frequency of creation itself. And the sheer scope of the knowledge inside, it's just mind-blowing. The Zohar tells us it had 72 distinct branches of wisdom, 670 of these engravings, which are like divine data pathways, and most mystifying of all, 1,500 keys to unlock secrets that were hidden even from the highest angels. This was the ultimate master key to the entire universe, handed to humanity's very first user. Okay, so to really get our heads around a concept this huge, we're going to use 3 different lenses to translate this mystical idea into language we can all use. We'll have a cosmic engineering version, a modern tech analogy, and of course, a video game version. Let's start by applying them to Adam's original perfect state. So in the cosmic engineering model, Adam's soul was the perfect hardware. He was clothed in a garment of light, which acted like a flawless spiritual interface, allowing this high-frequency data stream to flow into him with zero distortion, zero lag. And in our technology, well, if creation is a divine cloud server, Adam was the first superuser. He had full root access. He could see the entire system's architecture, no firewalls, no password prompts, total access. And for the video game version, just imagine you are the very first player in a brand new, massive open world game called Creation. On day 1, the developer just hands you the master guidebook. It's got all the maps, all the cheat codes, all the secret levels, everything. You don't have to figure anything out. You are gifted total knowledge from the very start. That was Adam. But you know, this perfect state, this seamless integration with the cosmic source code, it didn't last. The story takes a really dramatic turn. A choice is made. And that choice fractures this perfect connection. And the consequences, well, they weren't just for Adam. They were for the entire operating system of reality. This is the moment root access gets revoked. Listen to how immediate and powerful the Zohar's language is here. As soon as he sinned, the book flew away. This wasn't a punishment that came later. It was an immediate, systemic consequence. The connection was just severed. Poof! And the loss was so total, so profound, that Adam, this perfected being, just beat his head and wept. Now, check this out, because the original Hebrew text reveals something incredible. It's some deep, mystical wordplay. Before the sin, Adam had a garment of light, in Hebrew, katnat or, spelled with the letter aleph. But afterwards, the text says God made him garments of skin, which is also pronounced katnat or, but spelled with a different letter, ayin. That tiny phonetic shift signifies a monumental change in reality. His spiritual hardware was literally downgraded, making his new interface totally incompatible with the book's high-frequency wisdom. Let's break down this system crash step by step. First, the new interface, the garment of skin, was incompatible. It created way too much static. Second, a security breach was detected. The user's credentials had been compromised. Third, boom, access revoked. The connection to the divine server is cut. And this part is absolutely crucial. The data wasn't destroyed. It was re-encrypted and hidden behind brand new firewalls, right inside the fabric of the physical world. Back in our video game, it's like the game just suddenly, with no warning, switched to hard mode. The master guidebook just vanishes from your inventory, the minimap goes totally blank, all those secret levels and awesome power-ups, they're all locked away again. And now, the player is forced to explore and figure everything out through trial and error, just like the rest of us. But hey, the story doesn't end there. After Adam goes through this period of profound repentance, divine compassion is stirred. The book is actually returned by the angel Raziel, whose name means God heals. But access was fundamentally different now. It was no longer a passive, automatic download. It now required active study, spiritual striving. The knowledge was then passed down through his son, Shet, waiting for a totally new kind of user, someone who could do way more than just read it. So for generations, this re-encrypted book, this hidden wisdom, is passed down. And then a new hero emerges in the story, a man named Chanach, who you might know as Enoch. And Chanach didn't just read the book, he lived it, so perfectly that he fundamentally changed his relationship with the entire system. The Zohar describes Chanach's destiny with this really mysterious phrase, "And God took him." Now, this wasn't death as we know it. This was an ascension. It was a promotion, right out of physical reality. The text says all the supernull treasures were delivered into his hand. You see, all those encrypted files from Adam's book were now his to manage. He was given 1,000 keys, a whole new level of administrative privilege. And this just lays out the new paradigm so brilliantly. Adam was the initial terminal, right? Born with root access, getting data passively because he was in a state of perfection. But Chanach is the system architect. He started out as a regular user, but through his own righteous actions, he actively ascended. He didn't just get access to the knowledge, he earned the right to manage it. So what's on his new job description? Well, as the cosmic engineer, he's up at the central power station, helping to maintain the flow of divine energy. As the system architect, he's been granted access to the divine server room, managing user permissions and databases. And as the game master, he was literally pulled from the game itself to become a GM, holding the keys to the back-end code of all the worlds. Okay, so we've seen the book and its main users, Adam and Chanach. But what is the actual operating system that they're running on? To understand that, we have to look at the underlying architecture, the 10 Sephirot, which are the divine emanations, the building blocks of reality. We're going to focus on the 4 that are most important to our story. So everything, and I mean everything, begins with chokmah, or wisdom. The best way to think of it is as the primordial flash drive. It's that first, tiny point of creation, a single flash of divine light that contains all potential information in an infinitely compressed state. This is the book's raw data, the .zip file of the universe. But raw data is pretty useless without a processor, right? That's where Bina, or understanding, comes in. Bina takes that flash of chokmah and gives it structure. It's the divine CPU that unzips the data and creates the entire file system, what the Zohar calls all those treasuries and chambers of wisdom. It makes it all accessible. So how is all this organized data transmitted down into our world? That happens through Yesod, the foundation. You can think of Yesod as the divine API, or a secure server port that funnels all these higher energies. And this is where the keys come back into play. Our righteous deeds are the authentication keys we need to log in and unlock the data flow from above. And finally, where is it all displayed? Where's the monitor? It's right here, in Malkut, the kingdom. That's our physical reality. It is the user interface, the screen. And the job of the righteous, of people like Chanach, is to keep that signal strong and clear so that the display on the screen of reality is brilliant and uncorrupted. So we've talked about primordial books and garments of light and cosmic architects, and it's easy to think of this as just ancient history, right? But the Zohar's entire point is that this system is still active. It is running right now, and we are all users within it. So this brings us to the most crucial point of all. How do we log in? Adam had automatic root access. Chanach earned his administrative privileges through his righteousness. So how do we interface with this incredible cosmic operating system today? Well, the Zohar basically gives us the user manual. Using our cosmic engineering analogy, Every good deed, every mitzvah is an act of spiritual engineering. It's like tuning an old-school radio. Every positive action refines our personal energy field, aligning our frequency to better receive that divine broadcast. It clears away the static and just lets us pick up the signal that much more clearly. Our technology makes this crystal clear. Our spiritual practices literally upgrade our user account. Learning Torah, that's you studying the system's user manual. Prayer, that's sending a direct support ticket to the server admin. Acts of kindness, that's like running a program that strengthens the entire network for everybody. And consistent righteousness, well, that's how you put in your application for admin privileges, just like Hanach did. And finally, we're back to the video game of life. We all start out in hard mode, with the guidebook hidden away. But every single positive action is like gaining XP. Each good deed levels us up, unlocking new skills, new perceptions, even secret worlds we never knew were there. We get to transform ourselves from just another player into the hero of our own journey. So the ultimate message from the Zohar is this. The wisdom of Adam's book was never truly lost. It was simply encrypted into the very fabric of existence, and it's just waiting. It's a perpetual broadcast, challenging every single one of us to tune our own receivers, to earn our own keys, and to begin decoding the operating system of reality for ourselves. The question isn't whether the system is online, it's whether we're ready to log in. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.